Welcome to Extra presented by VEG Sports. I am your host, Vince Douglas Gregory. No filter. Very censored. Was not singing and dancing on that one. Was not singing and dancing on that one. I think I can't do that every time. And if I did, it become a routine, and I'm not trying to make a routine out of it. I'm just going with the flow. I am just going with the flow. I can't believe that I've never mentioned this before or given my shout out or props to those those who drive, the drivers. Yeah, this is for you. Getting us peeps from point A to point B, whether it's a taxi or whether it's one of the services that you use with an app. You know who you are. This is for you. I ain't got no questions. I just want to show some gratitude because much is needed, especially coming from me. Noob that's still here, you might want to stick around. If not, that's okay because I'm gonna keep it one hundo. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. Thank you for giving me a chance. Thank you for seeing if this was for you. Even if it's not, that's cool. That's great. That's fine. No worries at all. Regs, we back at it again. Regs, we do what we do. Regs, this feels like every single day, but it's not every single day. It just feels that way. We got this special, unique bond. We don't know what to call it. But one day in a distant future or near future, we're gonna retroactively say and rewrite history that this is what it is and was all the time. Sharing is caring, but you shouldn't share everything. You shouldn't. And that's some free advice. Bird like voice. Free advice. Okay. So since I've been gone on my hiatus, since I've been making moves, since I've been growing personally and doing everything I need to do to help me share more information, to help me see something, say something, to help me continue in this medium, to continue in this space. There's one thing that stood out to me. Well, there's a multitude of things that stood out to me, but there's one thing that came top of frame of mind that stood out that I realized that I have not done. A lot of other things I've mentioned, a lot of other things I've done in the past. You can go back and check the historical documents. Them receipts are there. Them receipts are there. But there's none for this because this is probably one of the first times I've shouted this out or mentioned this. And as are drivers, whether you're a designated Dave or whether you are one who got chosen or choosing, or if it's your professional period, whether you are a pro or amateur, this is for you because you do so much. You keep people out of trouble. You keep people from making horrific decisions. And I say that as with data and science backing that up. That's just not me pulling something out of a hat like a rabbit or something to that. I'm not a trickster. I am not a magician, nor do I play one on podcasts. Nope, I do not. In fact, I'm something else, but that's a different story for a different day. And the reason I bring this up because there was so many opportunities. There's so many times where I just needed a ride, or I had to do a ride share, or I had to do something to that nature, and it's easier nowadays. And I'm not old man yelling at cloud. I am old man yelling at technology and saying thank you. Thank you for making it possible. Thank you for making it right. Thank you for being there for me that I can make some good decisions. Even though, in the grand scheme of things, the decision might be a little off or tilted, but it's a good decision. I realized that I utilized it a lot. And it definitely kept me out of trouble because when I have my adult beverages, I repeat, I am not risking and I'm not taking a chance. That's just me. My risk reward system, my danger, my common sense and everything else, my intuition, my gut feelings, all of that tell me I'm not going to do that. That is something that's something else. That's something else I'm gonna have to do. And that is me calling up or me using the app to get a ride or me finding another even if it's public transportation, me finding another route depending on who you are. You pick, you choose. I'm just still the narrator. I am just the storyteller. Me finding a different way to get where I need to go, more likely home or somewhere else. I'm not getting behind the wheel. I'm not chancing. I'm not risking that. It's the odds aren't in my favor, and that's the game I don't want to play, and that's the game that I'm not going to play. And I have a lot of stories and things that I need to get to within that, but I may not make it here because there's somewhere else I like to go. Maybe, just maybe, but I ain't making no promises, and I'm definitely not writing any checks that I can't cash. Rain checks, bouncy bounce, not for me, cause ain't no rain and ain't no check writing. And so that's why I have a great appreciation for them. And whenever I look at the price beforehand or afterhand, I usually tip a lot just because I know the value of that, even though sometimes some trips are a little bit much and a little bit overvalued. But at the same time, I'm like, if there was another mode or if there was the alternate universe where I had to do A or B or C, yeah, and so I just go ahead and do what I need to do to show my gratitude, to show my appreciation. But sometimes I can take it a little bit too far. Sometimes I can be a little bit too friendly. I try not to have a lot of conversations and talk and all of that stuff. But sometimes some people open to talk and sometimes some people don't talk. It is what it is. I can make moves. I can judge the scene. I can figure it out. But when I first got back into doing this, there was some things that I didn't realize, or let's just say I was just a little bit too familiar. I was just a little bit too familiar. And basically, instead of getting in the back seat, I was getting in the front seat. It was this one time I was about to go somewhere and I got in the front seat and the guy would not move. He just looked at me and he was like, and he was scared. He was timid. I don't know. Maybe he thought I was about to do something dangerous. Maybe he thought I was about to do something that he wasn't prepared for. But how I was looking, how I was dressed should have just tipped him off that that wasn't the case. But it's okay. I can't mind read, and I'm not a professional mind reader, nor do I play one in real life. I can speculate, and my speculation, let's just say, I thought it would have tipped it off and gave him off, but it didn't. So, and he was a little bit scared. He was a little bit timid. And it took about a minute or so. And then he finally was like, hey, blah, blah, blah. He didn't even want to shake my hand. I don't even know why I stuck my hand out. And trust me, this is before the adult beverage. I haven't had a single adult beverage. This was just me coming out of the pad and hopping in the G Rod. Not mine, but his, at front seat. So we was sitting there for about a minute ish. I greeted myself at the beginning. I was getting this weird energy, I must say, but I sort of ignored it. But as we wasn't moving after we did our pleasantries and greetings and stuff, I knew something was up. My spidey antennae was going off. It was going off. It was rolling around. It was doing stuff that just let me know that something's afoot. Something's off. My gut feeling was just inviting me to open up the door of information and look and read the report because something's off. But after the minute or so, because it seemed like it was forever, it seemed like it was about 5 minutes, but I'm just gonna say a minute for the sake of this story. He said, yeah, I'm sorry, but could you get in the back? I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. No worries. And so I just hopped out and got in the back. I didn't realize how much energy it took him to build up to get that out. I didn't realize how much I frightened him. I didn't realize a lot of things. I was just oblivious to it. And the reason I say I was oblivious to it, because when I got where I was going, I asked the person who I was eventually meeting up with and getting with, and I just explained the story of what happened. And I was told that I was completely in the wrong. I was going against protocol. I was going against the system and the way things are set up. I was like, I don't know this. I'm new to this. I am new to this. I need to read the rule book. I need to read the room sometime a little bit more better. And more better is not a misspeak. More better is what we say here, noobs. So I suggest you go back and review the historical documents and look at them receipts and read them receipts, and you'll see more better is what we say and what we do. So I got to be more better about that situation. I got in the back. I didn't kick up a fuss. I didn't do anything to scare this person more because I was already tipped off. I sort of read the intel. My gut feeling, my spidey antennae, and everything was just letting me know that I need to try to get the situation in a different, in a different framework, in a different realm, in a different phase, because that phase didn't start off too well. So I just kept my mouth quiet and read the atmosphere, and it said just chill, say nothing, and keep it moving. And when you get where you're going, just hop out and say thank you and tip, tip a lot. And if you can say sorry, say sorry. I didn't know, but I didn't know to say sorry at the time, but I did tip a lot. I did tip a lot because I can admit when I was wrong. I can admit when things are off or the energy ain't energying right, or when something goes right or something goes left and it has my fingerprints on it. Just had my fingerprints all over it. I didn't need to do the mic the magnifying glass to see the fingertips. They had the whole handprint. Had a picture too if I would have painted one. So I was able to understand after the fact that maybe that wasn't normal, that maybe that was something that was a little bit different. But what threw me off, a previous one that wasn't that long ago, suggest and threw out that I probably should sit in the front. And I sat in the front and I just thought that was the thing to do. But that person was a little bit more familiar or acting a little bit more friendly or wanted to, operate in that sense. But then I come to find out that if it's a carload or car full, then that's when you can, sit in the actual passenger side. But the rules and the regulations say you got to sit in the back. You got to sit in the back. So that brings more questions for the previous driver before him. But that's okay. You live, you learn, you make some mistakes, you do some personal growth, and then if you can, you try to make the situation right or more better. And I did, hopefully. I ain't making that mistake again. I haven't made that mistake again, especially now since I know what's kosher, especially now since I know what is expected of me. Because I'm going to go above and beyond. How? Ver. However, I have been focusing more so on reading the car, reading the atmosphere a little bit better. Not more better this time, just a little bit better. And there's There's many opportunities for me to showcase what I've learned and my growth. And let's just say I ain't gonna make it to what else I gotta say, and I ain't gonna say rain check. I'm just gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out the new and improved website, extra vdgsports.com. vdgsports.com. And it wasn't like I forgot. I was just determined whether or not I was going to spell it, but I'll spell it now. xtra vdgsports.com. And if that was too fast, you can press that button to go back. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. We back here so I can keep going forward. There's a YouTube as well. Extra VDG. Everything is there. Like, subscribe, share. Basically, do whatever it is you do there. Noob that made it to this point. Thank you. And hopefully, you find some appreciation or find appreciation as much as I do for the people that keep us from making bad decisions, keep us from hurting others intentionally, even if it's not intentional. If you know, you know. Regs, I ain't gonna give it to you. I ain't gonna pretend. I'm just gonna say I'm out like peace. Peace out.